It was game number 3 of this 3-game road trip through the Eastern Conference, and it brought the Thunder here to downtown Milwaukee and Fiserv Forum. And the Thunder, with some exceptional energy on the second night of a back-to-back, put together an incredible defensive effort to hold the Bucks to just 105 points. Meanwhile, the Thunder with 4 players with 16 or more points. And at the end of it, the Thunder walk away with road win number 27. That is a new Thunder record. As we welcome you inside Fiserv Forum and into Thunder Live postgame, I'm Paris Lawson. And the Thunder, coming into this game, they were on the second night of a back-to-back. The Bucks were on the second night of a back-to-back. And if you looked at this game, and especially the second half, it felt like the Thunder was the team with a lot more energy. And we saw a lot of their depth really shine through in this one. Guys like Alex Caruso coming off the bench, great minutes. Guys like Isaiah Joe, and of course, guys like Isaiah Hartenstein in the starting lineup tonight with a very new career high. An incredible effort by the Thunder on both ends of the floor against a very strong Milwaukee Bucks team who is 4th in the Eastern Conference so far. The Thunder knew it was going to be a challenge, and they rose to that occasion. And especially on the defensive end of the floor, we saw a lot of great activity, hustle, and physicality, which is what you have to do when you're going up against a team as big and as physical as the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Thunder walk away with a 121-105 victory. All right, let's bring in Chris Fisher and Michael Cage, the 2 guys that were on the call for all the action tonight. And guys, I don't know about you, but it felt like the Thunder were the team that weren't playing on the second night of a back-to-back in this one.
Yeah, and also not finishing up a long Eastern Conference road trip and on the second night of a back-to-back, like you said, Paris. But this matchup tonight, Michael, against this Milwaukee team, very different from the one in December for the Emirates NBA Cup, very different from the one in January when Milwaukee sat all of its guys. So there's a lot of intrigue about having both teams at full strength coming into this one and just given the circumstances. But the tone was set very early on in a number of different ways. The physicality, the rebounding, and the defense, which really carried the Thunder throughout the course of the night.
Well, we talked about one of the keys to the game for the Thunder tonight was just bring good energy. Let me rephrase that. They've had great energy tonight. I thought, you wouldn't have known it. They played last night in Detroit and had to travel. It was their 3rd game in 4 nights. A lot of times, these things can be schedule losses where you just drop it. You look, we got we don't have Lou Dort. We don't have J-Dub. We got every reason to lose this game to a team that's in the 4th place in the Eastern Conference. And, they're playing good basketball. Big win last night here against the Pacers in the same building for the Bucks. You don't make excuses. You come out right away. You force them to call timeout. You get up 9-0. And from that point on, you basically, would not allow the Bucks to get any kind of rhythm. You beat them up on the glass, plus 17 there. You beat the Bucks at their own game and in the paint. The Thunder were a plus 14 in the paint. They had 50 points in the paint. It's just 36 for the Bucks. So when you peel back the layers and look at the stat sheets, it makes sense. It says, okay, this is a 17-point victory that the Thunder earned. They didn't make any excuses, and a lot of guys just stepped up tonight, as Paris Lawson just mentioned.
Yeah, Michael Cage, any way you slice this game up, the Thunder were the team that came out and earned this one. And I want to get your opinion on this group's performance overall, because there certainly were a lot of elements that went into it, but particularly on the defensive end of the floor, because at halftime, the Bucks only had 41 points. Giannis only had 7 points, and it felt like throughout the game, Milwaukee just couldn't find much of a rhythm. They tried to make a little bit of noise here in the second half, but the Thunder, with a really, really strong performance, just stiff-armed them to the finish line.
Well, I thought they locked arms defensively, Paris, in that first half, and then it just carried over into the second half. The Thunder were up, 12 at halftime, and that lead, just started to build in the third quarter because they were doing plays like this. How do you block a shot on Jericho Sims? That guy can jump out of the gym, and then they got hands on loose balls. There you see Caruso stealing the ball from Damian Lillard, and then we just talked about the rebounding here, just, really flipping the script on a team that normally beats you up on the glass, and they beat you up in the paint, Paris. So they really did it, and they consistently did it. It was with balance. It was with intention. They had a plan, and they stuck with it. They didn't change. They just kept going back to a lot of backdoor cuts, a lot of easy plays in the lane. I love the fact that they got those 30 assists, on 46 made field goals. You like that because that means the ball is moving. Anytime you can get 30 assists in an NBA game, you're happy with that. And then here's the proof in the pudding, Chris, right there.
The rebounding advantage going plus 16 is huge. We know how good Milwaukee is on the glass. The points from the paint also stands out, Michael, because that's what Giannis likes to do. Second leading scorer in the NBA. Milwaukee wants to get to the rim, and that is a massive advantage for the Thunder. 60-36. That's OKC playing this game on its terms.
Well, and you like that too because, as Paris talked about, the parity out there on the floor with the bench coming in and helping out Isaiah Joe with those 19 points, massive off the bench. Because even with Shai out of the game, we talked about that several times in the third quarter. He got some really good rest while he was out of the game. And at the top of the fourth quarter, he got rest because of the balance from the roster in scoring and the great defensive plays.
This is just a perfect way to encapsulate this 3-game road trip that the Thunder was on. Also, not to mention, the last road game against an Eastern Conference opponent for Oklahoma City. And now, finally, guys, the moment we've all been waiting for, a chance to go home and have a few consistent nights off in Oklahoma City. The next time the Thunder in action, they'll face another Eastern Conference team, this time inside a Paycom Center in the Philadelphia 76ers. What can we look forward to in that matchup?
Well, the Thunder are 24-1 on the season against the Eastern Conference. They can go to 25-1 when they finally play the Philadelphia 76ers on Wednesday night at Paycom Center. This is a Philly team, Michael, that it's not the Philly team that anybody expected coming in. Joel Embiid, he's out for the year with injuries. It just hasn't quite been there. Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, they haven't had that nucleus. But this Philly team got a win today in Dallas on the road. What should we expect from the 76ers with the Thunder getting a couple of days off finally?
Well, this is a team that's, out of the play-in, out of the playoffs. They got nothing to lose. You don't take them like that. You play the game that you did tonight against the Bucks. You came in here, you know that they're a team that they can steal the basketball just like any other team that will. They force turnovers. They shoot, they struggle shooting the basketball, but that's without some of the players you were just talking about, not having Joel Embiid, a healthy Paul George, and a healthy Tyrese Maxey. But don't let the record fool you because you know how it is in the NBA. You don't play a team's record. You play what a team is capable of doing, and you play up at the standard that you set.
Yeah, they're on a big road trip, having lost 17 out of the last 21. Normal start time on a Wednesday. We appreciate that. 7 o'clock right here on FanDuel Sports Network. Thunder Live. We're going at 6:30. Quentin Grimes, you see there, he the former Dallas Maverick, now with the Philadelphia 76ers. But the Thunder are going to be glad to be playing a couple of games at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Thunder been on the road for 18 of 25 days. You go home, you get a couple of days rest, and, you're playing against the 76ers, but the Thunder come in with a 3-game road winning streak and making history tonight with the Thunder getting that 27th victory on the road against 7 losses, 56 wins on the season, 1 off last year's pace. Not bad.
All right, Paris, I know you're looking forward to going home. We'll see if that dominance over the Eastern Conference continues on Wednesday night.
I'm looking forward to going home, but I know Michael Cage is looking forward to finally unpacking all that Samsonite luggage that has basically been packed since the All-Star break. All right, Chris and Mike, thank you so much as always. I really appreciate it. The Thunder with some exceptional energy here tonight, finally getting a chance to go back to Oklahoma City after it feels like living on the road since the All-Star break. But we got more to break down from this game here tonight. How about Isaiah Hartenstein with a new career-high 24 points to go along with 12 boards. The Thunder faced off against the Bucks and took them down 121-105 on the second night of a back-to-back. And after the game, our very own Nick Gallo caught up with Thunder big man Isaiah Hartenstein.
Isaiah Hartenstein here. Tell me about the defensive approach and the mindset you guys had from the very start because you set a tone.
We just want to come in, set a tone, both on a back-to-back. So we just want to come in, play defense, play team defense, and just go from there.
You had your career high in scoring, plus the matchup with Antetokounmpo. How were you able to impact this game on both ends of the floor with your physicality?
Again, just together, I think we moved the ball good. They gave me easy looks. And then defensively, just being physical and going from there.
This was a beast of a road trip, and you guys are the third youngest team in the NBA. What does this group do with the composure and the poise to be able to get the job done on the road?
We just go day by day. I mean, you can't focus too much on how long the schedule is, so we just go day by day and go from there.
All right, congratulations on the win, Isaiah. Appreciate you.
Isaiah Hartenstein finishing with a career-high 24 points to go along with 12 boards. That is his 25th double-double of the season. That's why he is our forward player of the game. And his ability to impact the game in a multitude of levels, well, that's what sets him apart. And Coach Daigneault says it feels like Isaiah's been a part of this team for like 3 years with how he's been able to integrate. Look how he's able to just move so well with his teammates. So much chemistry, moving off the ball, making great passes, making great reads, and all the while, he had the defensive assignment of limiting Giannis Antetokounmpo throughout the night, and it was not Giannis's night tonight, and a large part of that reason was Isaiah Hartenstein and the physicality that he played with defensively. You see his final stats there, hyper efficient, 11 of 15 from the field. As we mentioned, a career high in points for Isaiah Hartenstein. And as we mentioned, he's been in a couple of different roles for the Thunder so far this season. We've seen him in the starting lineup as we saw here tonight, but he's also come off the bench as well. And Coach Daigneault has given Isaiah so much credit because he says Isaiah's just a warrior. Those conversations with him when it's time for him to come off the bench, those are about 3-second conversations. He is such a team first player that no matter what, he is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure this team is in a position to win. And that is why he is such a high impact player for this group. Fits in so well. So fun to see him do so well out there on the floor. All right, stick with us here on Thunder Live because we got more coming for you after the break. Let's hear from Thunder head coach Mark Daigneault right after this. Let's get you over to the press room and hear from Thunder head coach Mark Daigneault postgame.
The defense held them to just 40% on 2-point shots tonight. Can you maybe describe the plan going in with your interior defense and the way that your guys were able to execute that against a team that obviously wants to attack deep paint?
Yeah, to outscore them 60-36, I think, in the paint is hard to do against that team on both ends of the floor. I just thought we did a really, really good job executing what we needed to do. I thought offensively we moved them around, got our cracks, attacked the basket against a team that is really difficult to play at the basket against. And then on the other end of the floor, I just thought the job on Giannis specifically was really good. Hart was unbelievable. Jay Will did really well on him. And then I thought the help behind it was really tight and focused for most of the night. I thought having Chet behind it was a great deterrent. It was our first look at those two guys together against a team like this, and it showed well, which we were looking forward to this matchup for that reason. So it's a great team win, gutsy on the second night of a back-to-back, at the end of a long stretch of the schedule, mostly on the road, one that the team can be proud of.
It's not new, but it seemed like there were 10 different ways that you guys got layups tonight. Is that feel off of one another at this point, choreographed based on what they're seeing on each possession? What are you seeing out there?
I think it's the chemistry of the team. We've really formed a nice chemistry on the court. Great blend. Guys are playing to their strengths. And then trying to mix looks against the team that really does a nice job of protecting the rim and has a lot of size to do so. So combination of those, but the guys have done an unbelievable job of just playing inside of their roles and playing together, competing together on both ends, and I thought that was on display tonight.
Mark, just thinking to the minutes with Hart and Chet, like obviously I think Hart was like a plus 23 or something like that, but offensively, like we talked before the game about seeing that pairing against some size, like to see what they did in their minutes, how encouraging is that? I don't know, 10 or 11, 12 games in to them playing together?
Yeah, I thought both ends tonight really good, and it's improved over the course of the amount of games that we've done it, which is expected. Like they're good players, they're impactful players, they want to get it right, they work together, they work inside the team. So it's no surprise, but it's definitely improved. And then I think early on when we were playing that lineup, we were playing it against perimeter-oriented teams, which can skew your impression of it. And I thought tonight we used it against a team that it was really, impactful against, having Hart with his chest on Giannis and Jay Will. I mean, Jay Will took a lot of those minutes as well. And then having Chet behind it specifically, is a powerful combination. I thought that was to hold him to 21 points and Lillard to 19 is really hard to do, and we did a great job of it tonight.
And with that, because I know obviously you're going to play that lineup regardless because you want to see the wrinkle now and have it prepared for the playoffs. But is it safe to say that that's the sort of lineup you're bracing for when you play that?
And beyond, not limited to this. It was certainly something we circled this one because we knew we were going to get a great look at it and learn a lot. And it looked great, but even if it didn't, it would have given us a nice blueprint for what to work on in the last 15 games. But yeah, I mean, those are two of our best players, so we're going to find a way to get them on the court, including together, really against any matchup. The other night against Boston, and we didn't start that way, but we went that way in the second unit. We're still learning it, but those guys I thought were big time tonight.
When you hear that your team is 24-1 versus the East, what do you think?
I mean, just stacked up to that, it's not a goal, going into the season. We just play the game in front of us, compete together, improve through the season, and let the results be what they are. And if the results are good, that's great. And if they're not, we'll learn from them. But this team's accomplished great things so far this season, but we've done it a day at a time, and we got to continue to have that mindset.
One day at a time for this Thunder group. And how about this next couple of days for the Thunder? A chance to go back home, a couple of days, games at home. On Wednesday, taking on the Philadelphia 76ers, and followed by another Eastern Conference opponent, the Charlotte Hornets, making their way to Paycom Center. That game is on Friday, and then the Thunder head back out, but this time out west, and they're going to take on the Clippers. That game is on March 23rd at 8 p.m. Central Time. But let's flash back to the first time the Thunder faced off against the 76ers. And this game featured a whole lot of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and, of course, Jalen Williams. This game was back on January 14th. Out in Philadelphia, and J-Dub had himself an incredible night, getting to his spots in the mid-range, and of course, Shai doing what Shai does best, getting his teammates involved, getting into the teeth of the defense, finding those opportunities to lob up to his teammates, and then the defense. I mean, the 76ers held to just 102 points in this game. The Thunder, absolutely strong performance out in Philly. That was a wire-to-wire win. And the Thunder, that defense, like I mentioned, that had 29 points off of Philly's 22 turnovers. And the Thunder outscored Philly 27-15 over the final 9 minutes and 45 seconds. So going to be an interesting matchup out there in Paycom Center. Finally getting a chance to go back home after what feels like has been an absolute life on the road since the All-Star break for Oklahoma City. But what a way to wrap things up and put a bow on this road trip with a really strong, dominant performance here tonight inside of Fiserv Forum, taking down the Milwaukee Bucks on the second night of a back-to-back. A very strong identity win for this group here inside of Fiserv Forum. That wraps us up here tonight. Thank you so much for staying up late with us. What a game we had here tonight. The Thunder had 4 players with 16 or more points on the second night of a back-to-back. The defense was stifling. They won big time on the glass. And at the end of it, the Thunder now has their 27th road win. That is a new Thunder record. Thunder back in action inside of Paycom Center on Wednesday at 7 p.m. against the 76ers. Thunder Live will get you going at 6:30. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.